Carbon emissions. So normally we talk about carbon emissions, but we also think about measuring carbon emissions, right? But do we really do about it? I mean, we are thinking about carbon emissions in terms of carbon footprints, right? What's the meaning of carbon footprint? Are we educating our kids, our future generations at least? What's the meaning, actual meaning of carbon footprints? It's not just the numbers, it's about the philosophy behind it, calling it as a carbon footprint. So if we don't imbibe this kind of philosophy into them, they don't understand it. If they don't understand it, we already spoiled it a lot. So they're gonna accelerate that to the next level. So that's a problem. So how many world congresses to several international meetings, how many funds they spend to bring the world's highest intellectual peoples together to think about this, spend time about this, and to give some sort of solutions, at least show some path to these environmental issues. So they are doing a lot, but where is the outcome? In corporates, after every financial year, will review what are the issues, what were the lessons learned from the last fiscal year, and what we're going to do about it. We do a lot of root cause analysis, and we deploy corrective actions and preventive awarenesses to avoid a lot of situations, to eliminate a lot of issues in the organization. So I mean, why it's not happening in this case when we're talking about environment, when we are saying about carbon footprints in a very philosophical way? But what's about it? We are talking philosophy, but we are making people to spell philosophy, but is it getting implemented? So if philosophies are not implemented, they remain as myths, and they will aggregate as modern myths. So we have to do something about the philosophies, what we are thinking about, what we are seeing about, what we are worrying about, what we are really worried about, what we are crying about. In fact, most of the people are tearing their hearts. We are seeing them, but we don't even remember their names. Who are they? At least we start echoing with them. Just add one to them. At least it will help to stop the run we grabbed so fast at hypersonic speed, the entire world together. So probably I sometimes I think like this was a reason we should not really talk about globalization in this aspect. So as a globe, we already achieved hypersonic speed. We humans went up to humanoid, so let's not talk about speed in front of any other species. We are at an ultra point level. So I think if we work together, the same thing, we are in a drift. So we have to break this off. So first, every country should not think together, let's break it up, let's make the same kind of union board kind of meetings what we are doing, and the most luxurious points, let's not do it there. Let's do it at the national level. Every country should come up with one plan. If it is already there, why it is not getting implemented? WHO is trying to fight COVID. As a organization, it is taking the responsibility of entire globe. Whether it is taking a right decision or wrong decision, it's all secondary. WHO is a dartboard. Everyone is aiming WHO. Even I am darting WHO, because it's not about contradicting. It's about thoughts working together. That's all. What pros and cons of your thoughts are, what pros and cons of my thoughts are in long term. and just implement. If possible, if I hybrid your prawns and my prawns, and if I hybrid your corns and my corns, I can get a better hybrid solution. We are doing with that cropping already. We are trying to increase the productivity of the same square foot of land without understanding the quality of life. Of course, that's what's a foolish thing, but here we can make it wise. So it's not about thinking together anymore now. Let's break it up into national wide. Let every country come up with their own plan. Let's share the plans. Let's make a tracker. Let's cross implement the plans according to without disturbing the cultures and things, which is feasible, which is flexible. We can plan and we can implement it. At least every country implements. There are colonies where local bodies implemented plastic free zones, and they are still following it. But if citizens of that particular colony don't support, it will not happen. So unless we educate people and we make them understand the ground reality, what is the pain in the ass, what is the pain in the ass our next generation's gonna take, our kids gonna take, if we're still thinking so foolish, running behind which is materialistic but which is not permanent in nature. It could be the center of gravity for society, it could be the blood of the society, that's true, but it's not the blood of environment. Don't take environmental solution in terms of monetary terms, the way the corporates look at. If you ask 1.5 years ROI and 2 years ROI and 3 years ROI and avoid them as a best and first implementable solutions, it will not work with environmental kind, because the cost is high, the resources are low, there are very few engineers coming out as an environmental specialist. Even if they come out of the colleges also, they don't know about the practicality. They are just reading data, they are not reading philosophy, because this modern education became very technical. And Europe is trying to boost up such kind of youngsters, but it is not picking up. If Europe does it in one way, it is helping us in some extent, but this entire other countries are saying that they are trying to do it, but it's a quite diplomatic thing, it's a very straightforward answer. So when we talk about environment, please remove the layers of diplomacy and sugar-coatedness and talk. It sounds very cruel and sharp, but yeah, this is for a good sake. If a plow is not so sharp, or plow shies to be sharp, a farmer can't do his land. Okay, so please try to understand this. Try to remove the layers of diplomacy and sugar-coatedness. Even if lot of countries or lot of leaders are trying to push it wholeheartedly, the entire globe is circling around that point and reverse polluting it into multiple ways. We are like against them, unconsciously also. Even my toothpaste today is generating pollution. Every citizen of this globe is using toothpaste. Even in villages where people used to use neem barks in India, they are using toothpaste. And we are infusing neem into the toothpaste and making them to use. Why such kind of use cycle? Just to aggregate money to a single point. So when we talk about environment, we have to disrupt this. So when we disrupt this, there will be a lot of tangents which gonna impact, but don't take the word tangent very light, because these tangents become center of gravity for some other thing. When you aggregated a money chain to a single point by drawing a line in the society from different points, Okay, holistically for any kind of business it is. Any kind of business. So when you disturb these lines, lot of lives gonna die. It's not so easy. We are thinking that we'll run and stop there, environmental will revive. That's what Dubai is trying to do. They are saying that now we stopped pulling crude from the globe. Dude, who are we to draw a line? Crude oil is there in the core, in the crust for a reason. What is globe? It is a magnetic ball. Magnetic waves are running in and out. Heat generates. Fleming's rule. Okay. Whether it could be left hand or right hand, it stays the same in the conductor. Heats generate, and to reduce that heat, there is a coolant in particular locations. Why we are sucking out coolant out of this? Forget about crude dude. So forget about this world's requirement. This is a mechanism. From this mechanism, if you remove, you're selling, Dubai is like selling out the most expensive fucking cars, right? So if you compromise on your lube oil and let's run, okay, will they gonna be efficient? What could be the end of life? Ask your citizens to do it, you will start emitting a hell lot of carbon emissions. Their scope 1 emissions, your scope 3 emissions will go, you will go out crazy and Dubai will start suffocating. Okay, so don't make machines inefficient. Don't draw lines. Are you drawing lines in your most expensive cars what you are driving? You know how much polluting, how much scope 3 pollution just Dubai is generating to transit those cars. Why don't you concentrate on it? Why don't you do hemp based sports cars? They are lightweight. You are asking for ultraviolet. Yes, ultra light. You are asking for ultra light weights, and you are developing this carbon and some other lightweight, and the most strongest thing with carbon infusion. That's the most costliest as well, and it is damn polluting. So why don't you use hemp fibers? The cheapest. What's the problem there? Break the taboos, dude. That's it. It's not so hard. Even Dubai Princess, as a youngster, as a young generation, as from the millennial generation, he can think about it. I mean, this is only possible when this kind of radical decisions are taken. When we disrupt, do the radicalities, when we dance on the radicalities, we're going to cut on many lives. So some people in the country should sacrifice for that. Your corporate social responsibilities are nothing, bro. I'm telling you. You are just pissing in the ocean. That's it. I've worked for Fortune 500 companies. I know this. Okay, if you're gonna piss in the ocean, what is gonna happen? That's what. So I'm not against anything. I'm not sarcastic on anything. I'm telling you the ground reality. I'm trying to be the flow. That's it. To just plow my own farm. That's it. Please try to understand. I respect. My entire family eats because of the corporates. I started a startup because of corporates. For these Fortune 500 companies. These are damn fucking efficient. These corporates made a person who was literally questionable to pass his 10th grade into a person who can start a startup and run a flyers which drive almost everyone crazy. It was something like an Interstellar, of course. That's the other side of the coin. So that's what. So corporates got so much efficiency. Why don't you put okay, I'm telling, don't piss in the ocean. Okay, piss somewhere else. where it is useful. Okay, put your CSR, corporate social responsibilities, orient your corporate social responsibilities towards where you are good at. So you are good at planning, you're good at process management, you're good at process deployment, you're good at measuring things, you're good at drawing graphs and showing it in a very explainable way. You can sell anything. You can make the costliest affair into the cheapest affair. You can break it down into pieces, and you can sell things, and you can get the same amount of profits and better future brand value. So I have seen brands growing in front of my eyes like that. So corporates got so much of responsibilities in their organization. Why don't you take this responsibility as at least 5% of your capacity, and don't name it as CSR. When you name it as CSR, we changed every dictionary meaning, from a cultural dictionary to Oxford, now Oxford to urban. So let's not talk about meanings here. Let's talk about some wise uh, wise thoughts which gonna help the globe. So, and we need a lot of solutions. On top of it, we need, dude, solutions are something even a beggar can have. There's no doubt about it. A beggar have a solution. If you go with a problem, he'll have a solution. But if you don't have the capacity to deploy that solution in finding a right path without emitting the emissions back into the society in a physical and virtual way, okay, just like what we did all these days, okay, if you don't find an efficient path, even a efficient solution could be like shark in a tank. That's it. Titanic is a very good experience on the big screen, but the entire movie was filmed it was filmed in a tank. That's it. You call it a swimming pool, I call it a tank because I'm an engineer. So that's what we need. Solutions. We need some teams who has to orient on solutions. We need some teams who write process. We need some teams who has a capacity to deploy the process and solution together in a right path. Find a right path, efficient path, and deploy. Not the economical path, efficient path for the environment, and deploy. We need 3 sectors, 3 verticals who can sing together as aham, brahma, asmi. We are Trokans. We talk Sci-Tech Vedantam. Dreams here.
Bye.